Hello and welcome to News Round, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. Coming up, High Court sitting in Lagos sentences Drambi Vandi to death by hanging. Police officer involved in the killing of Bolanle Raheem, a Lagos-based lawyer. And the federal government says 614-kilometer Jakarta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline will be ready by the third quarter of 2024. Nigerian Army launches new operation in North Central to tackle all forms of security threats in the region. Plus, Israel orders 1.1 million people in Gaza to move to the southern region. A news round begins in Lagos, where the State High Court sitting in Tafawa Balewa Square Annex, Igboshere, has convicted and sentenced to death by hanging the suspended Assistant Superintendent of Police, Drambi Vandi, for the murder of Lagos-based lawyer Mrs. Bolanle Raheem. Justice Ibironke Harrison held that the prosecution has proven its case against the convict beyond all reasonable doubt.
The suspended ASP Drambi Vandi was arraigned before the court on January 16, 2023, 3 weeks after he allegedly shot to death a 41-year-old pregnant lawyer, Bolanle Raheem. He faced a one-count charge of murder, contrary to Section 223 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015. The prosecution, the Lagos State government, called a total of 11 witnesses in proof of its case against the defendant. The witnesses include the husband and sister of the deceased, police officers who were at the scene of the incident, and those who investigated the alleged offense, the armorer, and even the ballistician. The defendant testified as the sole witness in his own defense. In denying the offense, the defendant told the court that the loud gunshot purportedly heard by eyewitnesses was that of a firecracker. Vandi also claimed that the bullet which killed the late Bolanle Raheem did not come from the rifle he carried on the day of the incident. In fact, he claimed that he had never seen the bullet until it was tendered in court. But Justice Ibironke Harrison held that he did not give any explanation of how the firecracker killed the deceased. Neither did he give any other explanation for her death. The court also said that it believed the evidence of the pathologist that the late Bolanle was shot from the right side at close range, and when combined with the evidence of the ballistician, yielded surplus information leading to the conclusion that the defendant was the only armed person who had the opportunity to shoot from the right side, and which shot resulted in her death. The court also took into account the testimony of the family members who immediately ran towards the defendant, and especially the clear evidence of the late Bolanle's sister, who had immediately gone to hold the defendant by the shirt and identified him as the shooter, as well as the statements of eyewitnesses who pointed at the defendant and labeled him the shooter. In the final analysis, the court found it strange that the defendant made no attempt to contact his colleagues after the incident, but instead fled and proceeded to hide inside a minibus until he was dragged out. The court found the defendant guilty and sentenced him to death by hanging.
We hope it will bring a closure for the family of late Mrs. Bolanle Raheem, and we thank the government headed by Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
This is not the final state. It's just like a football competition. There's the primaries, there's the quarterfinal, there's the semi, and there's the final.
We believe that this is a step to pushing the effect on the family members, because at the end of the day, it cannot replace a loved one, but it is a step in the right direction.
The leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association also applauded the judgment and used the opportunity to draw attention to other pending cases.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Yakubu Chinuko SAN, had mentioned the fact that the NBA was going to follow this matter till the end. That is exactly what we have done.
Justice has been done. We're also calling on the Ministry of Justice to consider the Gafaru's case to ensure that justice is done.
Just as he restated his commitment to getting justice for Gafaru Braimo, who was also allegedly shot dead by an officer from the same police station as Vandi Drambi, the NBA says it will monitor any appeal on Drambi's judgment. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
The House of Representatives is urging the Central Bank of Nigeria to stabilize the Naira against the dollar and address speculative activities in the forex market and increase the withdrawal limit of Naira to reduce the pressure on dollars and other foreign currency. This follows a motion on the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to address the impact of the weakening Naira on the Nigerian economy.
The attention of members of the House of Representatives turns to the state of the economy, with special consideration on the value of the Naira. Following a motion by Honorable Ismail Adabu, lawmakers debate the need for the Central Bank of Nigeria to address the impact of the failing Naira on the Nigerian economy.
Urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement monetary policy adjustment to stabilize the currency, address speculative activities in the forex market, and increase the withdrawal limit of Naira to reduce pressure on dollars and foreign currencies.
Today, if you want to travel out of this country, you are forced to pay in FX. You are forced to pay in dollars. You find out that they charge us equivalent of about 3-point-something million Naira here to buy an economy ticket to travel for a 6-hour flight. But those coming from the UK, for instance, Mr. Speaker, pay far, far less when they are paying in pound sterling.
Let's invite even the CBN governor, Minister of Finance, as a house. It is our responsibility to hold those that are driving these policies, to hold them to account that, look, let's see your policy document in respect to the economy. Because if we continue like that, tomorrow the dollar will be 1,500 and we'll just be smiling.
An amendment is made to the motion and adopted.
Urge the federal government to make a fundamental shift on governance approach that focuses on bloated cabinet structures, wasteful expenditure as a result of on-the-job consumption, oil theft, corruption, and forex speculations.
The House further mandated committees on banking regulations, national security and intelligence to interface with the Central Bank of Nigeria with the purpose of initiating compliance strategies, as well as investigate the use of US dollars and other foreign currencies as legal tender for domestic transactions in Nigeria. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
And to the petroleum sector now, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, and Mr. Ekperikpe Ekpo has urged Nigerians, or assured Nigerians, that the 614-kilometer Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline will be ready by the third quarter of 2024. Mr. Ekpo, who was on a working tour of the project site alongside the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, expressed satisfaction with the progress of the work and maintained that the contractors should ensure the delivery of the project as agreed.
The Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Gas, Mr. Ekperikpe Ekpo, and the company of officials of the ministry, as well as the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, is on a working visit to the Pai River crossing site of the Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano AKK gas pipeline in Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. The officials are here to inspect the project and get an update on the horizontal directional drilling.
The contractor has assured me that by July, August next year, the project will be completed. That is the old grammar. And when that is done, we are sure that there are so many ailing industries in the country will come to limelight. CNG that we've been preaching about will be there for us. LPG for cooking, we'll do away with biomass.
There are a lot of prosperity opportunities for industrialization waiting for the energy, the end use source, which is gas. So this AKK is very fundamental, very critical. And the project manager or the project team have already committed all the efforts they are making, in spite of all the challenges and insecurity, to focus on the job.
We're doing this in collaboration with the contractors, with all stakeholders, with the absolute support of the federal government. So I just want to congratulate Nigerians and salute the federal government for the consistent support. economic prosperity is on the way.
The project, which was commissioned in July of 2020, was initially expected to be completed this year. However, there are some challenges.
We're giving commitment to the Honorable Minister of State that this project will be completed by July, August next year. We are working very hard irrespective of the challenges. Challenges will always exist. AKK will make a lot of difference because, like Honorable Minister of State stated, gas is energy and energy is wealth. And Nigeria has it in abundance, but you have to have delivery systems to get the gas to where it's required and be able to commercialize it.
The pipeline, which is part of the Trans-Nigeria Pipeline project, is expected to also revive the major industrial hubs in Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano. Daily Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
And in a bid to rid the north-central part of the country of kidnapping and other security threats, the Nigerian Army has launched Exercise Enduring Peace 3, which cuts across Benue, Kogi, and Nasarawa states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. Reading the riot act to criminals, the commander for Special Forces Doma, Major General Hilary Nzan, says the exercise, which will run from October to January 2024, will transform into a full-fledged military operation in the whole region.
Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State arrives in the company of the Commander 401 Special Forces Brigade to flag off the ceremony for Exercise Enduring Peace 3 in one of the rural communities in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Troops are lined up and ready for combat exercise ahead of their deployments to Benue, Kogi, Nasarawa, and the Federal Capital Territory.
The exercise is hinged upon the desire of the Commander for Special Forces Command to continuously improve the capabilities of the troops to meet up with the emerging security threats. This is also in line with the Chief of Army Staff philosophy, which is to transform the Nigerian Army into a well-trained, equipped, and highly motivated force towards achieving our constitutional responsibility within a joint environment.
The commander of the 4 Special Forces Doma Nasarawa State launches the exercise with a warning to all militia groups, armed herdsmen and kidnappers.
On the other hand, let me use this opportunity to warn all criminals, kidnappers, armed robbers, cattle rustlers, recalcitrant herders and farmers to think twice before indulging in any activity that is against the law.
Governor Hyacinth Alia is elated by the launch and wants host communities to volunteer information and supports the military for enduring peace to return.
See the finest of our very own to assemble to re-establish their commitment of services to all of us. They are the reason each time I'm out there talking about the insecurities we are experiencing. Most of all, we had experienced in the state. They are a renewed hope of protection to all of us.
The headquarters of the operation is in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, and the troops will be drawn from the army and other security agencies.
And still ahead on News Round, body of benchers urges new lawyers to uphold the tenets of the profession at the 2023 Call to Bar ceremony in Abuja. That's in a moment. Just stay with us. Still watching News Round live on Channels Television. Well, the chairman of the body of benchers, Justice Mary Peter Odili, is urging new lawyers to always uphold the ethics of the profession and desist from acts that could portray the legal profession in bad light. Justice Odili gave this charge at the Call to Bar ceremony in Abuja, where she further asked the new lawyers to use their new status to champion the cause of justice and the rule of law in the country.
New lawyers ready for their introduction into the Nigerian judicial system. 1,083 of them who successfully completed the July 23 bona fide examinations and 12 candidates from the previous call are participating in this ceremony. They are accompanied to the ceremony by their families and friends. Members of the body of benchers led by its chairman, Justice Mary Peter Odili, file into the hall. Those in attendance include the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, past justices of the Supreme Court, the Attorney General of the Federation, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, and senior advocates of Nigeria.
I hereby admit each and every one.
The chairman thereafter admits the new wig into the bar. Justice Odili charges the new lawyers to be proactive as society expects much from the profession.
We must live above board as the public expects no less. When the public repeatedly see the justice system fail, the people's confidence in the law will decline. Therefore, if you see the system failing, propose changes in the laws or changes in the rules.
Earlier, the Director General of the Nigerian Law School, Professor Issa Chiroma, gave a breakdown of the final bar examination, promising to uphold the standard of the bar.
Today, the Nigerian Law School has had to sustain its enviable growth and development for 6 decades to the admiration of many. The importance of Nigerian Law School in manpower training and development for our country cannot be overemphasized.
The body of benchers authorities lay its plans for the new weeks.
What we are emphasizing on now is mentorship, because we have seen that over the years that a lot of the junior lawyers really do not know their way about the profession, how to navigate the various complicated avenues.
Most of those who are being called to bar are very young, and therefore they are promised to the future of this country. My advice to them is be patient, be diligent, and be professional.
The body of benchers is hoping to admit the next set of wigs in the first quarter of next year. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
And President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of the Civil Service Commission for the Federal Capital Territory and removed the FCT administration from the Treasury single account, effectively giving the FCT more control over its finances. The Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, made this known during a media briefing where he stated that the President has also approved the Mandate Secretariat for Women Affairs.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has at various fora asserted the need to reorganize the FCT administration across the board. With this in mind, the less than 2 months old FCT minister received the President's approval to exempt the FCT from the single treasury account.
The money has been given to us. Projects left, right, and center going on. That's the only way we can survive it. And Mr. President graciously agreed with us and approved that we should pull out for the single treasury account. So that you see from next year, it will be project upon project, project upon project in FCT. What you saw in Port Harcourt will be exporting. What you see in Abuja will be something else.
He further announced other major approvals by President Tinubu.
The entire civil servants in FCT, they all lost hope. Why? You cannot be here and be a permanent secretary. You can't. And you can imagine your career, or all your life, what you are hoping to get to the apex of your career. But no way, because there's no civil service commission. I can tell you authoritatively, Mr. President, I give approval for the establishment of Civil Service Commission for the financial sector.
The minister equally affirms that he will drive the mandate of the Tinubu-led administration hinged on inclusivity, which is why the president has approved a new mandate secretariat.
As I speak to you, Mr. President also approved that we have a mandate secretariat. Look, you must create a mandate secretariat that will take care of women as what we have in other states as Commissioner for Women Affairs.
Meanwhile, the FCT minister assures that the approvals are in line with the renewed hope agenda, asking residents to expect insecurity and poor infrastructure to become memories of the past. From Abuja, Gloria Omezuke, Channels Television News.
And as Nigeria joins the international community to celebrate the 2023 International Day of the Girl Child, the Deputy Representative of UNICEF in Nigeria, Mrs. Ronak Khan, is seeking more commitment from the government at all levels to address the needs of girls and women. Mrs. Khan explains that adolescent girls should face no constraints in realizing their full potential.
It's another time to celebrate girls, and this time, schoolgirls, development partners, and government officials are converging on this hall to deliberate on how to make life better for girls and women. The theme for this year's celebration is Invest in Girls' Rights. A report by UNICEF shows that there are 25.8 million adolescent girls in Nigeria, with 7 million of them out of school. However, development partners are pledging their commitment to protect and empower young girls.
Here in Nigeria, the United Kingdom has demonstrated over decades of partnership that we are a genuine and enduring partner to grassroots organisations and other allies, old and new, including UNICEF. Through these partnerships, we reaffirm our commitments to putting girls and women at the centre of our operations and our investments.
Let us take an action to ensure that girls are at the center of all the discussion, but keeping an eye on the most vulnerable girls. The girls' voice should guide everything we do, and we really need to create space for girls to lead and amplify their voices.
The wife of the governor of Kwara State is the chairperson of the Nigeria Governor's Wives Forum, and she is optimistic of the future of the girl child, while encouraging girls to put in their best to achieve their desires towards nation building.
Don't let any sector be a taboo for you, and try and do all that you can to represent girls well, to represent women well, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the future, right? So I look forward to looking at the TV one day and saying, I know her. You know, I knew her when she was 12 years old, and I know you can do it.
The past 10 years has seen young girls affected by conflicts, forcing them out of schools. For some others, poverty and child marriages have limited them from achieving their potentials.
The parents won't want to be in trouble actually with the girl. So they don't want to be in that trouble of having the girl kidnapped or having them harassed in any way or molested in any way. So the government should actually give space for more education to girls, and then security should also be tightened.
With more commitment from government at all levels, issues affecting young girls in Nigeria can be reduced to the barest minimum.
And finally, on Newsround, Israel is warning approximately 1.1 million people in Gaza City to relocate to the southern part of the Strip for safety ahead of an expected ground offensive. However, Hamas says no one should move, describing Israel's order for people in the north of Gaza as fake propaganda, and has urged citizens to ignore it.
Sitting on the ground in dismay in front of dead bodies wrapped in white sheets, Ghassan Ala Al-Kafani has lost 8 of his family members, the only survivor. He was injured and with his arm in a cast, fled 2 locations with his family before being hit by an Israeli airstrike that killed his pregnant wife, his brother, father, 2 cousins, and 2 extended family members.
We received a message to leave Beit Hanun town, so we went to beach refugee camp. They threatened the building we were in, so we went to find safety in the beach camp. But the building we were in was also threatened, so we had to move to Sheikh Radwan town, where we stayed in an apartment there. Suddenly, around 4 a.m., a strike hit us, and we don't know why. We have nothing, and that's all.
This 21-year-old Israeli woman is in despair and says she has no tears left after most of her family members went missing on Saturday after a mass militant attacked their keyboards, and video emerged showing our 12-year-old brother being taken away by gunmen. Gaya Kaderon, speaking from Tel Aviv, begged for the safe return of her family taken from houses in Naira's keyboards.
And in the video I see Erez, my younger
brother who was with my sister and my father. And I see that they taking him. And he's like screaming a little bit because he is hurting. They are hurting him here. It was so hard to watch. I never felt like this. I don't even have tears anymore in my eyes. I can't cry because I cried so much.
But unlike many other similar videos of Israelis being taken by Palestinian militants, Calderon noted that the brother didn't appear to be shot or bleeding, which gave her hope that he was alive and the family were all together.
What can I do? I'm freaking out, and just thinking about my family. It's my whole family. Like, I'm the only one that's safe, and then no answer from her. And then I see in the group, in the family chat, she's writing, "Mom, I love you." So I knew it's probably because she knows it's the end or something.
Gazan woman Samal Abol Latifa fled her house in the Abbasan area of Gaza to Khan Yunis, hoping to find safety. Instead, she lost a brother and 2 more family members in an Israeli airstrike.
And that's News Round for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now.